You ready to roll?
Ready to roll.
Hey everybody, this is Jefferson with Bo Birdie. We're privileged today to have with us Nancy White, who is an LPGA professional golfer and also is a co-owner of Mulligan's Golf Center. And according to your website, this is the premier golf facility for the Shenandoah Valley. I've been from Front Royal, well, all the way up to actually Harper's Ferry, down to Roanoke, to every single golf course and driving range in between those two cities, and I'd have to agree, this is the premier. This is so nice. So Nancy.
Well, thank you for that.
Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
I always like to start the interview with the same question. Would you rather have 2 pars or a bogey and a birdie?
Oh, absolutely a birdie.
Nice, nice, okay. So, you're the first professional golfer I've ever interviewed. And I want to ask you a few questions, but I want you to take us all the way back to when you and golf collided. Can you remember the first time you either played or fell in love with the game of golf?
Absolutely. I was a young athlete, and my dad, I was a skater. I'm Canadian, so I was a skater, speed skater, wanted to be the first hockey player in the NHL, the first female hockey player. That my parents kind of told me that probably wasn't going to happen. But my dad decided to play golf at some point when he was, I guess, I don't remember when. I was maybe 12 years old. And he said, come on, let's go. I want to learn to play golf.
And your dad was a good golfer or not?
No, my dad was just starting. He said, let's go learn to play golf together. And he took me with him, and we were bad. But you know how golf does its thing where it's almost impossible to perfect, so now you become hooked on golf. And that was the beginning of my golf, but it isn't when I really started to want to play professionally or even competitively.
Interesting. So it had to grow on you a little bit.
Well, it did. I had to make room for all the other sports that I was playing, and but eventually golf won out. I tried to qualify for the 1980 Olympics in Lake Placid for speed skating.
Okay, wow.
And I missed that by 11/100ths of a second, but I had previously met a golf professional in Toronto who said to me, you know, you're wild, but you're strong. I think you could really learn to play golf and possibly make a living. So when you're done speed skating, let me know, and I'll teach you to play golf. And I called him the week after I got back from the Olympic trial.
Right. Yeah. So this is interesting to me. I would not think that those two sports would utilize the same personality type, but here's someone recognizing as a speed skater, you have what it takes to be a good golfer. And he said you were wild and...
Well, I was very strong. I was very strong when I was in my 19, 20-year-old place, and I would go into this indoor driving range in Toronto in the winter, and I would hit balls as hard as I could, and they'd be bouncing off everywhere. And he came up one day to see what all the racket was about. Right. He said he looked around the corner, and who is making all that noise? And he started to bring me down to his private teaching area. And offered me free advice. He was a master professional in Canada. His name was George Clifton. I was unbelievably blessed to meet George, and that's where I also not only learned to play golf, but learned to love teaching golf. Nice. And I watched him teach. He worked miracles. I wanted to be able to see what he saw. How could he see that and help people so quickly? So,
right.
Yeah.
And I can share with our followers that I know probably dozens of people that have had golf lessons from you and felt that you improved and gave them the ability to love the game.
Well, that's great to hear.
Yeah, because it can be frustrating. So you were a professional golfer for how long? How long did you actually compete on the LPGA?
11 years. I got my tour card in the fall of 1984, started playing in 85, and then decided to take a break in 1996. Okay. And it was at that point that I was offered a head professional position at a golf club in Forest, Virginia, and accepted that position, yeah.
All right, so let me ask kind of a silly question maybe, but I've always wanted to ask a professional athlete this question. Is it exciting? Is it glamorous? Is it intense? Is it hyper competitive? What is it like to be a professional athlete?
So inside the ropes, I guess is the term you use when you play professional golf.
Okay, inside the ropes.
Is very exciting. It's very competitive, very emotional.
Did you ever win a tournament in that 11 years?
I did not. I finished top 10 a couple of times.
Top 10, nice, nice.
But, you know, it's back in the day when I played, it was, you know, there were no cell phones, so we traveled in packs, kind of in our own cars.
Okay.
We talked on CB radios, but very competitive, very stressful. The money wasn't great back then, so it was difficult making a living unless you were winning often.
I was going to ask you how the game probably is different now. If you were a professional golfer now, I assume there's way more money in it?
Well, I think it's like tennis. It's like anything. They've all got their teams and their coaches and their traveling nutritionists, and not everyone, but the top players probably do. There's a lot more money in it. There's a lot more endorsements. And I also don't think it's, I mean, we had some characters when I played, and you know, it was fun. I don't know that I'd say it's fun watching golf these days, honestly.
It's a little different, isn't it?
It is.
And it's all about money, I've noticed. But so my favorite professional golfer was Mo Norman, who's also a Canadian golfer, but very interesting guy. So is golf as popular?
Quick question. I played with Mo Norman.
No way.
George Clifton, my instructor in Canada, was a good friend of Mo's, and if Mo ever really wanted anybody to take a quick look, George would be one of those guys. So I played with Mo, and that was the most, what's the word? It was a different experience to play 9 holes with him.
I heard he was unique.
Very unique.
I watch him on YouTube. I'm just fascinated with how he explains everything, and yeah, I love that guy. All right, so here's the jump. You were a professional golfer on tour, then you decide to retire, and you start working at a course. I assume teaching and running the course. How did you jump from there to here?
So even when I was at Ivy Hill, I was following orders because I had an owner and a boss, and I didn't particularly like the way that the business was run. I felt like enough emphasis wasn't put on service and growing the business through serving people in an exceptional way, and shortcuts were being taken, and I really wanted my own place. I wanted to make the rules and hire the people and build a business that way. And so after 4 years there, we parted ways, and I found this place. I looked for over a year looking for a golf center, and
so you
found
knew
this
you
place.
wanted a golf center.
Yes.
Did it have to be in a certain state or area?
No, I went to Florida and looked at 2 locations. I almost purchased a place in Greensboro. In fact, I went down there to sign the papers, and the owner had to go out of town urgently and wasn't there for us to meet and sign the papers, so I ended up coming back, stopped at this place on my way back, and driving up I-81 from Lynchburg, it just felt right, and drove down this driveway, and
you knew.
I said, this is the place.
Now, how long have you been the owner here at Mulligan?
21 years, 2003, March of, so it'll be 22 years in March.
Okay, and I think I started coming here in 2005. That's when I started playing golf. I was forced by Mennonites to learn how to play golf. It's a whole different story. But a few things have changed here in that period of time that you've been here. Could you talk a little bit about what it was and what it is?
So I think what it was, first I had to try to change the reputation, because this was a driving range with poor mats, poor targets, clay dirt driveway, it really didn't have anything except I could see that it could get better. I didn't ever imagine in my wildest dreams what we have here today.
I was going to ask you if you had a vision, or if it kind of goes in steps of how you got it.
I did. I went in steps, and one year I would pave the parking lot, and another year I got new mats, and I just tried to keep improving as the years went. And
by the way, she didn't try; she succeeded. This is, you've got to come down here. It is definitely worth a couple-hour drive. It's just such a fun place to be.
Thank you so much. But I mean, we just kept growing, Jeff, and eventually in that small golf shop, we're sitting today in the new golf shop, the new pro shop, 2,500 square feet, fully stocked with all of the biggest brands in golf. But we almost had all of this cramped into a much smaller golf shop on the other side of that wall.
Yep.
And we did a tremendous business out of there, and I felt like we were still growing, and either I retire or we do what we did.
And you did what you did. And so I want to ask you a question. It's kind of a trick question because I already know what your answer is, but what is the future of golf?
What is the future of golf?
Yeah, what's golf going to look like down the road a little ways? How do we keep young people interested in playing?
So I think you need technology.
Okay. Do you embrace technology here?
We very much use and embrace technology. In fact, the reason we did our recent expansion in 2022 was because I heard his presentation at the PGA show where they were saying, if you don't bring technology to your facility, you'll be left behind. I'll never forget that sentence as long as I live, and I was really shocked. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, we'll be left behind. And you know, at that time, Topgolf was really taking off, and I enjoy going to Topgolf and seeing the technology, playing games, having a few drinks and eat some food while you were playing. And this opportunity to bring TrackMan range technology to our facility is the same. In fact, most people agree it's better technology and more accurate.
I was going to say, you might have one-upped Topgolf. You have a restaurant.
We have a
You have golf pros. You have miniature golf. You have a putting area. You have a multi-tiered facility with real grass on one section for hitting out into the range. And you also have the Smash Factory, which I just like to say that over and over, the Smash Factory. What is all that stuff?
So it started really with TrackMan range. We wanted to bring the technology to our facility. In order to do that, we had to cover our facility. It had to be protected from the elements as best we could. So we had to put a cover over our range, and we thought, well, we're probably going to grow, so let's make it a 2-level driving range. So at that point I said, well, I've been not having a grill here for years, and people are constantly asking for beers, so let's have a full-service grill that serves the bays.
Which is called?
Grilligans.
I like that too.
The grill at Mulligan's, Grilligans.
Right. Very clever.
Thank you to Alex Carter, our longtime team member here. But you know, then we knew that we needed a bigger golf shop, so we just decided to do the entire expansion all at once, and it was in 3 stages. The golf shop opened first, the double-decker opened second, and the grill opened third. And quickly to your question about what is the Smash Factory, the Smash Factory is a state-of-the-art club fitting center with 2 climate-controlled bays with heads, shafts, 2 TrackMan units. We have a wonderful climate controlled. We open up these huge garage doors when you go up there for your fitting, and you hit out into the driving range, so you're not hitting into a net.
It's the real deal.
It's the real deal.
When you're examining people's swings and how they play, it's real.
Yeah.
It's not hoping that you caught them hitting into a net.
Well, we still have the technology that shows the ball flight and the distances and the spin rates and everything, but you're also seeing the ball flight because the ball actually leaves the building. So that's been, it's all been incredible, but we're just so pleased that we're able to offer top of the line club fittings here.
Yeah.
And we have such a huge inventory that you can sometimes leave with the golf clubs.
Nice. In fact, I'm left-handed and I'm very tall, so we usually order it, but I've bought quite a bit of equipment here, and I thought y'all have done a wonderful job. Okay, so I want to switch gears just a second here. I like the word you use, community. When I talk about Bo Birdie, we have so many people that I kind of have a feel of community with that. I feel the same thing here. So I see parties, I see families, I see fundraisers, I see gangs of friends. There's a real good vibe here of community. Would you agree?
100%. In everything you said. We love hosting events. We love hosting office parties or recognition days, birthday parties, graduations. We hosted a pre-wedding party here. What's that called, the day before the wedding?
I don't know. Pre-wedding sounds fine to me.
So, and we've had tremendous support from our community, and we know many of our customers by name, and this feels kind of like the Cheers of a golf center. I hope you have that feeling when you come in. But
so I'll say this. So I think Nancy is an incredible golfer. Obviously a great businesswoman. Lots of things you do really well, but the thing that you're best at is hospitality. Your customer service is so sincere, and it's so, I can think of probably a dozen different times that you or Wendy have helped me with something.
So much.
And contributed. So Bo Birdie has 7 different charities that we kind of work with. And you always, every single time we've ever asked, you've contributed and helped and backed different fundraisers and different things we were doing to reach out. You have your mind in the right place. That I think your business is wonderful. But it feels good too. People enjoy coming here.
Yep, thank you so much. And that is super important to support events in our community and the charities. And we do get a lot of requests. We try to help every single person that comes through the door within reason. But our team, I think that one of the things, if I could just say quickly, is the people that I have hired to work with me over the years have made the difference in this business. And if they don't buy into my ideas of exceptional service, we don't get along, and they don't usually last. But thankfully, I think I've picked well, and the guys stay. We have an amazing team, and they love serving people the right way. They like having integrity and honesty when they're talking to people about golf clubs, and I love listening to them. So it's
they remember my name. It's funny. I'll be on the range and they'll yell out, or they'll come by and say hi. And I'm thinking, how do they remember that? But they must have hundreds, if not thousands, of people they're working with. But they go out of their way to build that relationship.
Well, I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah,
that's great.
So in closing, I'd like to thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed it, and I'd just like to say, from bunkers to burgers, this is Jefferson and Nancy saying, have a wonderful day.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Hey everybody, it's Jefferson with Bo Birdie. Today I have with me Wendy Kern, who is a co-owner of Mulligan's Golf Center and is an LPGA teaching professional. Is that right?
Yes.
What does that mean?
LPGA, Ladies Professional Golf Association.
And so you actually help people get into the game of golf?
Yes. Definitely.
What does that look like?
Well, one of my passions with teaching is definitely to get people started in the game.
Okay.
I teach all levels of people, for sure, all the way down to elite golfers. But
by the way, she is an elite golfer. She was captain of the JMU golf team years ago, correct?
Yes, a long time ago. But more what my wheelhouse is and what I really, really enjoy is helping people enjoy the game.
Okay.
And whether that be for them to maintain the game and be able to hit the ball like they like to, whether they're 15 handicappers or not. But you know, it's also really super fun for me to get people, like I taught this morning, somebody that's brand new to the game and she's just getting into it. She's an athlete. She's a young lady who wants to learn to have golf as a career, not a career of golf, but have it be something that she has for her lifetime.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So golf can be very frustrating, especially when you're learning how to play. Anytime I meet someone that says they want to learn how to play golf, the very first thing I tell them is get a lesson.
Yes.
What does that look like? If the very first lesson, what do you do? How do you bring somebody from a non-golfer to a golfer?
Well, one of the things that we love here is our group teaching, set classes that we have called Operation 36, because
I've heard about it.
That's actually what we consider to be the ideal way to start playing, is to start people where the swing is basically a putt or a small chip, and they learn to work their way back towards the tee, so they start progressively getting their swing bigger and bigger.
You're the first place or facility that I saw embrace that, and it was genius right from the start. When you explained it to me, it made perfect sense.
It is genius, and that is where we love teaching people to start from. We still teach them proper aim, proper grip, proper posture, all those things, but it's somewhere that it's not intimidating to them, and it's very small, and it's achievable. However, when I do more individual lessons, where we do start is those same basics. You know, making sure that their routine looks good, that they have the routine that getting behind the ball and aiming, and making sure they know how to aim and know how to hold the club properly, which of course we feel pretty strongly about one particular way to hold the club, and how they get set up to the ball athletically, and then really it's keeping it simple from there.
Nice.
You know, it's just making some sort of load and letting her go.
I'm a member right down the road at Chevrolet. One of the best golfers in our whole what do you call it, teams, or in the
league.
whole league, still comes here and gets lessons. It shocked me because he's so good. I was like, oh, he doesn't need anything. But sure enough, I came here one day and I saw you giving him a lesson. So I realized no matter how good you are, the lessons can keep you on that path of wherever you want to go.
That's right. Yes, absolutely. You know, I when I was actually playing golf a lot, I would come to Nancy for lessons. You know, I mean, I was playing nationally, at an amateur level, and I would come to her on a regular basis to have her show me and make sure I was in the place I needed to be for most ideal ball striking. And that really is what it's all about, whether you have a better handle on it or not, is how can we get the golfer to have the most ideal scenario with their ball striking.
Well, I do have a question for you, and only 10,000 people will hear the answer to it, so it's just between us and those 10,000 people. Have you ever beat Nancy in golf?
She would never let that happen. She'd fake a bee sting or something if it was being threatened.
All right, that was just between us. I needed to know. She's very competitive, and she has a beautiful golf swing.
She is a fantastic golfer, and she is really fun to watch to play.
Right.
I learn a lot from her because there's totally a difference between being an elite amateur and mini tour player like I was, and being an LPGA professional. Totally different scenario, and so the way she handles the golf course and the way her colleagues handle the golf course is just a thing of beauty to watch. It really is. So I'm teasing.
So I was sharing with Nancy, my favorite pro golfer was Mo Norman from Canada, and it turns out she's played golf with him before. And I was just thinking, wow, that's kind of cool how the circle comes around.
Yep.
What's your favorite thing about owning golf facility here in the Shenandoah Valley? Beautiful place to live. But what's your favorite part of that?
Oh gosh, watching people have fun and watching people get what they want and need, helping them with the proper way to proper choice for equipment, having them seeing them having a good time with their families or themselves on the TrackMan range. Making sure that they get the proper advice and professional advice and courteous service.
Yeah.
And so seeing people walk in that door is something that definitely makes Nancy and I
Well, and we talked
like-
earlier about the families, church groups, charities, fundraisers, college student. You just see a lot of different community vibe going on here where people are just having a blast. They're having fun, doing a lot of different things. We were joking about the Smash Factory, because I love to say that, and Grilligans, all you've been
Fun
clever,
ones.
right? You just really made it fun to be involved in this, and you don't have to be a golfer to enjoy coming here, by the way. With the miniature golf and with the food and everything, there's a lot of options.
Right.
But I'm very impressed with what y'all have done.
Thank you.
I think I was telling Nancy, I've been coming here since maybe 2005.
Yes.
And every year y'all just embrace something. I can tell you're very business minded, but in a very community way. And it's just turned out to be a really successful and fun place to be a part of.
Well, I'm glad that you find that, and yes, you have been one of our go-to customers
Right?
forever and ever.
Yeah, I love Mulligan's.
But it's important to us, and one of the things that's we know we can feel confident in is that the team we have here is going to treat people
Right.
not only with courtesy, but also our team knows how to properly communicate to the customers about and give them correct answers on
Right.
what they need when they're looking to
Well, I
invest.
noticed in both interviews with you and Nancy that you talk a lot about your team, and anytime I try to give you a comment, you push it off onto someone else, and that just gives me a feeling that y'all really appreciate your team, and it's a real team, that
Yes.
you do care about your employees
Yes.
and about your customers.
Yes, for sure. It's our team is the glue, and our customers,
Right.
of course, are what are important, and they know that too. And that's where the leadership with Nancy is so so she trains that and instills that in every single member of our team.
Well, thank you so much for the interview
Absolutely.
today.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
I really appreciate it, and I just want to say, from bunkers to burgers, have a wonderful day.
Thanks.
Good job.
Thanks.